number 15, that is our environment. Now children, we all know the things around us is considered as environment. So effect of adding waste to the environment. This is mostly, we are producing, or human activities are producing lots of waste material which we throw directly to the environment. This waste causes pollution of air, water and soil, that is our natural resources. Now, the waste material produced are of main two types. They are biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. So what are biodegradable waste? The waste which are decomposed into harmless substances by action of microorganisms are called biodegradable waste. For examples, vegetables, fruit, pulses, cereals, cotton, jute, all organic waste. Now, wood, leather, paper, animal dung, animal bones, etc. And non-biodegradable waste, the waste which are not decomposed by the action of microorganisms are called non-biodegradable. Some of the examples are polythene, plastic, synthetic fibers, glass, metal, synthetic rubber, insecticide, pesticide, etc. Now children, ecosystem and its component. What is ecosystem? An ecosystem consists of all living organism in an area along with the all non-living organism or component in that area and the interaction or relationship between living and non-living. Now there are different types of ecosystem: natural ecosystem, artificial ecosystem. So what are natural ecosystem? Forest, desert, grassland, mountains, pond, lake, river, oceans, etc. You might be noticing both living and non-living component lives in the natural ecosystem, and artificial ecosystem is like garden, park, crop fields, aquarium, zoo, etc. Now, the components of an ecosystem. An ecosystem consists of two main components. They are biotic and abiotic component. Biotic component means all living component like plant, animal, microorganism. They consist of producer, consumer and decomposers. Now, producer. What are producers? All green plant which produce food by the process known as photosynthesis. Then what is consumer? Consumers are mostly plant eaters or herbivores which get the food directly from plants or plant product. Then the carnivores which get their food indirectly from plant, or you can say flesh eaters are known as carnivores, and omnivores which get their food directly or indirectly from the plants, which eat all either plant product or animal product. After producer and consumers, third is the decomposers. Now decomposers are microorganisms which decompose dead plants and animals. They also decompose complex organic substances into simpler inorganic substances in the soil, which are again used by the plants. Now abiotic component of ecosystems are those components like air, water, soil, minerals, sunlight, temperature, wind, etc. Now, when we talk about the interaction between living and non-living, so now how they are interrelated through the food chain. A food chain is the flow of food energy from one organism to the next and so on. They usually start with the producer, that is plant or green plants, and end with the carnivores or flesh eaters. In a food chain, an organism gets food from one group of organisms. So we can see so many of the food chain. In simple word, we can say who eats whom relation is known as food chain. Now for grass, grass is producer eaten by deer, that is primary consumer or herbivore you can say. The deer is been eaten by lion, that is secondary consumer. So this is one food chain. Now grass is also, it can be eaten by insects. It can also be, insects can be eaten by either frog or snake, or frog can be eaten by snake. So producer, primary consumer, and consumer, secondary consumer. So grass can also be eaten by moth, it can also be eaten by frog, and simultaneously it can be eaten by a snake, and finally it can be eaten by hawk, tertiary consumer. So like this we can say foods are interrelated to each other. Now you can see the sun is the ultimate energy source. Every energy comes from the sun, because only plant or producer can harvest the solar energy. It can convert the solar or heat energy of the sun into chemical energy of the food. Only it is possible through the producer level. All green plants are the producer level plants. Then the plants eaters, they are primary consumer. Then the secondary consumers are flesh eaters. Then the tertiary consumers are again flesh eater or carnivores. And then finally the role of decomposers comes, like fungus, bacteria. They decompose all, either plant or are animals, or you can say consumer or secondary consumers. These are in pictorial diagram of some of the samples of food chain. You can see in ocean, in pond, in grassland, tropical levels, everywhere the food chain starts from primary producer to the consumer level. Now, the interrelated food chain is known as food web. So you can say food web is a group of several interconnected food chains. In a food web, an organism gets food from more than one group of organisms. So plant, you can see, observe the pictorial diagram. Plant can be eaten by squirrel, grasshopper, frog, rabbit, deer, or herbivore birds. Grasshopper then can be consumed by a squirrel, bird, or frog. um, Squirrel is herbivore, sorry. Now bird can be eaten either by snake, snake can be eaten by owl, so rabbit can be eaten by snake. Now fox, rabbit also can be eaten by fox, wolf, or wolf, deer can be eaten by wolf. So interrelated. It is not necessary, the food chain cannot be a straight chain. This is again pictorial diagram of food web. Now children, tropic levels. Now each step in a food chain where transfer of food energy takes place is called tropic level. So first tropic level consists of producer or green plants. The second tropic level consists of primary consumer, or you can say the direct plant eaters. The third tropic level consists of secondary consumer, which are carnivores. The fourth tropic level consists of tertiary consumers, which are exclusively carnivores or high level of carnivores. Since the transfer of food energy decreases at every tropic level, the number of tropic level are limited and do not exceed 4 or 5. Now you can see the ecological pyramid, that is producer, herbivore or primary consumer, primary carnivores or secondary consumer it is known as, secondary carnivore or tertiary consumer it is known as. Now you can see the pyramidal structure. Why it is producer level, number will be more. One is only 10% of energy is transferred from one tropic level to another. That is from sun, only 10% of the sun energy is produced by consumed by the producer or green plants. Then primary consumer only consume 10% of energy of the producer. Likewise, secondary consumer can only consume 10% of the energy from the primary consumer. So the shape of the energy transfer will become pyramid shape. Now, green plants, that is producer, only absorbs 1% of the total solar energy falling on leaves and store it as food energy during photosynthesis. Now, during the transfer of food energy from one tropic level to the next, as already we have talked about, 90% of energy is lost to the environment in the form of heat, light, etc. And only 10% is transferred to the next tropic level. So there is decrease in the amount of food energy transferred at every tropic level by 10%. This is known as 10% law. A simple example is given in the pyramidal shape. You can see 1000 kilocalorie energy is available at the producer level or green plant level. Then 10% of 1000 kilocalories, 100 kilocalorie, it is been transferred to the primary consumer. Then 10% of 100 kilocalorie is the 10 kilocalorie, which is been transferred to secondary consumer. and 10% of 10 kilocalories is 1 calorie being transferred to the tertiary consumer. So as we move upward to the tropic level, we will get less amount of energy or less unit of energy. Now children, another term is the biological magnification. Now, the harmful chemicals like insecticides, pesticides, which are used to protect the crop from insects and pests, are absorbed by plants and enter the food chain. Since these chemicals are non-biodegradable, they get accumulated at every tropic level and their concentration increases. Since human beings occupy the highest tropic level, we are omnivores and all, the concentration of these harmful chemical is maximum in our bodies. So, the increase in concentration of harmful chemicals in the bodies of an organism at higher tropic level is called biological magnification. So energy transfer is only 10%, but harmful things transmission is maximum at the higher level. So this is known as biological magnification. Now in this diagrammatic, you can see the accumulation of mercury in the food chain. Like mercury is added as in the plant sources, it will go into phytoplankton, zooplankton, then finally into fishes, which the consumer, which now the smaller fish has been consumed by the large fish, and large fish has been consumed by birds and mammals. So gradually the harmful chemical like mercury go on accumulating at the higher tropic level. Then one example is use of DDT. This is an important pesticide, so always used in the agriculture. So DDT initially in the water, it will be in the less amount. Gradually it will be eaten or accumulated in the fishes, and fishes is being eaten by birds and mammals. So at higher tropic level, DDT accumulation, it goes on increasing, and this is the biomagnification. Now children, human activities affect the environment. All of we are knowing the depletion of ozone layer in the atmosphere. Now ozone, as you all know, the oxygen when combined with the free radical of oxygen in presence of ultraviolet rays, it produces ozone gas. Now ozone is very protective layer which is present in the stratosphere of the atmosphere. Now ozone molecule contain 3 oxygen atom. At higher level in the atmosphere, the UV radiation split some oxygen molecule, and free oxygen atom combined with the oxygen molecule and form ozone or O3. Now you can see ultraviolet rays having the wavelength of 100 to 280 nanometer completely absorbed by the ozone layer. Now these ozone layer protect us from the ultraviolet radiations. Now this ozone layer present in higher layer of atmosphere protect the earth from the harmful UV rays or ultraviolet rays. Now this UV radiation causes skin cancer in human. So ozone layer is being damaged by the use of chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, used in refrigerators, fire extinguishers, air conditioners and all. So the use of CFC is now being reduced to protect the ozone layer. Now in place of CFCs, ammonia and other gases are being used. Now you can see the position of ozone layer above the troposphere in the atmosphere. Now in this pictorial diagram, we can see the hole in the ozone layer in the Antarctica region. This is the expected pictorial diagram of the years. In 1989, almost ozone layer was being depleted or hole was being seen. So you can locate as the time passes how big the ozone hole will be there. Now producing garbage through the human activity. Now what to do? How to manage the garbage? Household waste is called garbage. All of we are knowing. Some of the garbage we are producing is biodegradable, which can be degraded by microorganisms, and some are non-biodegradable. So garbage causes pollution of air, water and soil. So how it should be disposed? Some of the methods are landfills. Low-lying area should be filled with this garbage. Recycling of the waste, very important. Whatever we recycle like paper, plastics, metals, they can be given through the proper channel. Production of biogas and manure. So bio-waste can be used to produce biogas or methane gas, and manure, vermiform compost, and all the manures. Preparation of compost can be done. Incineration, burning through the electricity should be done. And sewage treatment plant, for purifying water or garbage water, we should use the sewage treatment plants. Now you can see the biogas plant in the right hand side, and in the left incinerator is there. Now here is the pictorial diagram of filling of low-lying area or landfills. This is the sewage treatment plant, or the water which is unfit for drinking can be treated and can be made usable or fit for drinking or potable water.